Hurricane Lee is now a post-tropical cyclone, but it is still packing hurricane-force winds as it pummels towards the Maritimes. The eye of the storm is forecast to reach western Nova Scotia sometime this afternoon. Nova Scotia Power says about 130,000 customers don't have electricity. Another 35,000 have lost power in New Brunswick. Lee is expected to move across Atlantic Canada tonight and into tomorrow. We have extensive coverage of the storm for you. Shayna Look is in Halifax. Alison Northcott is in St. Martin's, New Brunswick. And meteorologist Ryan Snowden is in the Halifax newsroom, and that's where we're going to start now. Ryan, let's get right into it. What is the path of this storm? Where is it going to make landfall?
Yeah, that's a great question. This system has been wobbling a little bit as it nears southwestern Nova Scotia, and it looks like it's maybe back a little bit further to the west again. It will be making landfall most likely in Yarmouth County. But again, this system is so large, we get focused on the center. But again, the impacts as it becomes post-tropical spreading out and away from the center of the storm. And you can see that heaviest rainfall here across New Brunswick right now. Strongest winds we've been seeing across southwestern parts of Nova Scotia. Back to the rainfall for a sec. Again, closest to the track and along to the left of the track is where we'll continue to see that heaviest rainfall this afternoon. That'll be our best chances of getting up into the 100 millimeter range in terms of those heaviest rains. The strongest winds, again, near the center of the storm, and also, again, on the windy side of this system along the south shore. That's where we've been seeing those gusts over 100 kilometers already, and we'll likely continue to see that, as you'll see here, over the next few hours as we walk you through the afternoon timeline. And you can see those heaviest amounts of rain will continue to track up through St. John, Fredericton, and up into the Acadian Peninsula region. Still heavy rounds of rain here across southwestern Nova Scotia, but it's going to be the winds that are relentless here through the afternoon, through the evening, and even into the overnight. As folks are trying to get some sleep, it's going to be tough because the wind will remain gusty, again increasing the likelihood that we'll continue to see those power outages through the overnight into tomorrow morning. We'll finally see the system depart and the conditions will improve. Storm surge warnings continue along the Atlantic coastline from Yarmouth to Canso, and we are again looking at that high tide this afternoon into this evening, particularly from the Shelburne area into the Lunenburg area, Halifax, and east into Guysborough. So lots to watch here for the rain, the wind, and the surge.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to CBC's Shayna Luck, who's also in Halifax. Clearly really windy where you are, Shayna. What's the latest on the ground there?
That's right, Natasha. If I did not hold on to this hat, it would be blowing away. The winds have really picked up in the last half hour or so. And, you know, we can really see that in the power outage numbers. Well up over 100,000. I checked a few minutes ago, there were more than 120,000 customers without power. Now, in a province of about 1 million people, you can tell that that's significant. We're also hearing from the RCMP that there have been people out so far today taking pictures of the storm, but the RCMP are asking people not to do that. Please to stay at home where it is safer. So certainly, you know, you can see that the winds have picked up, and there's been a lot of damage already because of that.
Let's talk about that a bit more. What else can you tell us about the storm situation?
Yeah, we know that there are some trees down already. We've heard at least one report of a person along the South Shore who was injured by a falling tree when it fell on their vehicle. Now, that person taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So that is good news that it was a non-life-threatening injury. But certainly we have seen trees down in a number of areas. We're also hearing about storm surge. We are coming down from high tide in Halifax and Yarmouth areas, but certainly we've seen pictures already of the ocean up in people's yards in the Mahone Bay area. So staying away from the coast is certainly being recommended by all emergency officials, Natasha.
Okay, Shayna Luck in Halifax, thank you. Let's turn now to St. Martin's in New Brunswick on the Bay of Fundy. That's where we find CBC's Alison Northcott. What's it like over there, Alison?
Well, yeah, we're here in St. Martin's. It's on the Bay of Fundy, and you can see the power of the waves behind me. It's been quite windy here with some really strong wind gusts. The rain has been on and off throughout the last few hours. In this area, we have seen some downed trees and that type of damage across New Brunswick. Right now, NB Power says there are nearly 40,000 customers without power. Part of the issue is the fact that how wet and rainy it's been here over the last few months and days, and then adding additional rain and these high winds, it makes it just a lot easier for those trees to topple, and that's what we've been seeing here. And it's been the situation across much of the province, and there is still a long way to go in this storm and many more hours of these types of conditions over the course of the day and into tomorrow.
So how are people in the various communities handling the storm?
Well, here in St. Martin's, we've been speaking with people, and they're really taking it in stride so far. They say, you know, they've done what they can to prepare, and all they can do now is wait and see what kind of impact it has. Have a listen to some of the people we spoke with in this area a little earlier.
They started to go, and we all kind of gathered around in the house and watched it, and then just slowly came over as the roots raised up. The ground's pretty saturated, so there wasn't very much to hold it.
How you're finding it so far?
Pretty windy. I just come down from the beach, so it's pretty windy.
Well, we lost power here about, I think it was around 6 o'clock, and it's been out since. So we're got the generator running, got the coolers going, and we're open. So
the wind is picking up, and it's not quite where it's going to be yet, but we're just going to wait it out and see what happens. Yeah.
So one of the things a lot of people are watching here now is the tides. We are approaching high tide here now, and with those strong winds, concerns, of course, about flooding. So that is something that people in this area are watching closely as the storm continues.
CBC's Alison Northcott in St. Martin's, New Brunswick. Thank you. And remember that CBC News has a special website dedicated to keeping information clear and visible to everyone. This is a website called CBC.ca/light. It's spelled LITE. We'll be back in just a moment.